Mabuhay everyone, and this is the 11th generation Honda Civic. And I know the question on everybody's mind is it up to snuff? Does it have what it takes to live up to the legendary Civic nameplate? Well, that's what we're here to find out. Pretty, isn't it? I think so. I like that Honda's gone for a more subdued look compared to the previous generation. It looks more mature, more grown up. And I like that it's got more sculpted lines and it makes it look longer, wider, and bigger, which I think it actually really is. Now this is the base 1.5S variant and it doesn't look base to me. Apart from the front, which is where you'll see the differences, it doesn't come with an LED headlight. It only comes with LED DRLs and you don't even get fog lamps. On the side, you do get 16-inch alloy wheels and over at the back, LED taillights. But again, it really doesn't look base, which is I think the most important thing here. Because with what you're paying for, especially at this class, you want to be able to feel good about the car you're driving. And honestly, I can't stop looking at it because it really looks that good. The mature and clean design philosophy carries over to the interior. Everything you see is very clean, minimalist. The only thing that really stands out is the mesh pattern that they put the air conditioning vents behind. Actually, it's the most striking thing in the whole interior and it's not a bad thing to look at. I also like that they used piano black in a very minimal sense because it tends to get dirty easily and scratch up from time to time. In front of me, you have a 7-inch multi-informational display screen that houses all the relevant information about the car. Anything to do with the gauges, the fuel economy, and Honda sensing, which we'll get to later. Over here, you have the 7-inch infotainment screen that has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is of course a good thing at this price point. Below, you have the single-zone automatic climate control system. Below that is the USB port, 12-volt socket, a cubbyhole for other knickknacks, your gear lever, the economy button, the electronic parking brake, and the auto brake hold button. At the second row, there's really nothing much to write home about because there aren't any features, but I can say that there's a lot of space there even for me. And overall, I like the interior of the new Civic. Even as a base model, the best thing is, again, you don't feel like it's a base model. You have everything you really need and anything you could ever really want. So this is where I want to highlight the most important part about the Civic. This is where it makes its bones. Any self-respecting car that carries the Civic badge should be able to drive well, not just in the city, but also out on provincial roads like this. Because regardless of any variant you get of the Civic, it's always been a really good car to drive. But in years past, I can say it's been a hit and a miss. And I'm proud to say that here in the 11th generation that it's back. That's why I got the base model, because I think the base model is the best of the bunch. It's the most value for money. You get everything you need. But most importantly, you also get that Civic drive feel. First, let's talk about the engine. Under the hood, you have a 1.5-liter turbocharged engine. Puts out 178 horsepower and around 240 Newton meters of torque, which is more than decent considering that this is a big car. Not just big in terms of size, but it's also quite heavy. The good thing is though, you don't really feel the heaviness of it, the heft. Nothing really makes it feel like it's going to lean too much into the corners or do anything that will make you feel uncomfortable. But apart from the engine, the other thing I'd like to point out is the steering. The steering is so precise. Precise in the sense that they tuned it really well. Cars nowadays are made with electronic power steering and sometimes you don't feel the road anymore. It's as if you're just driving on a cloud, which is good, I guess, in the city. But if you're a person who likes to drive, you want to be able to have that lightness that won't make you feel tired after a long drive. But at the same time, you want to be able to feel the road surface you're on. You want to be able to turn the steering wheel and know where the car is pointing really well. And you also want to be able to know that it's safe. It just gives you that reassuring feeling that you feel the road, which I'm not sure a lot of people like, but I personally like that. Lastly, the ride. The ride of the Civic is really good also because it's firm enough for you to be able to take corners spiritedly without necessarily feeling too much body roll. And at the same time, in normal driving settings, it soaks up the bumps really well without really being uncomfortable. but also, and lastly, I think the most important point I'd like to point out is the overall feel. Everything about this new 11th generation Civic feels solid. The noise levels inside aren't too loud. The vibrations, barely any. And like anything, that's really what you want in a car. So let's talk about the Honda Sensing, which is what I mentioned is one of the better features about this car. Yes, the base model gets it. And the Honda Sensing is really there to keep giving you that peace of mind and safety that you want on the road. Now, it's not just any one feature. There are actually an accumulated lot of features. And I'm sorry, unfortunately, I don't memorize them all right now. But if you're curious, it's right here. Now, so let's talk about the first part. So to activate it, you have to press this button here, the lower left-hand side. Once that's on, you press this button to turn on the adaptive cruise control. All right, so I tapped that button once and we're going a steady 57 kilometers per hour. You can adjust the speed that you want the car to keep here by toggling these buttons up or down. You can also press the lane keep assist. So what the lane keep assist does is it reads the lines of the road in front of you and the car will steer ever so slightly, not too much. You can't let go of it completely, just to keep you in the lane safely, just in case you stray a little bit from the lines. Now, going back again to the adaptive cruise control, what it does is it's not just any cruise control. It will actually read the road ahead of you and it will see if there's a car or an obstacle in front. So if a car is in front of me, unfortunately right now there's none, the car will slow down by itself to a safe stop. And if you're at a full stop, you toggle this button once and it will move forward. So basically you're just doing the steering. You're not really doing the gas or the pedals at all. And again, I need to stress, all of this you can have in the base model. So how much does this all cost? Well, this base model 1.5 S CVT retails for 1,290,000 pesos. That is a lot of money for a sedan. But you do get a lot for it. As mentioned, you really need not want for anything more. You even get the Honda Sensing, which is a big deal in a car like this. It's not only there for convenience, but also for added safety and peace of mind. Also, this is a great Civic. Yes, a great Civic because it drives so well, like I mentioned earlier. I like it so much, I'm thinking of getting one for myself. If you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel below. And also, please don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. This has been Pablo Salapantan with Yugaauto. Paalam! Hello everyone, Pablo here with Yugaauto. Now if you want to know more about the car you just watched, please scan the QR code over here. And also please don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter as well. Once again, thank you for watching. Paalam!